So I finally got the suit all sewn together and assembled. It took a little bit longer than I was expecting. I had to try a few different things just to keep everything flexible. The secret trick was to use silicone tubing as my diffuser. It works really well, as you can see. And then I just ended up having to use some clear tape to put it together, as well as sewing the edge pieces on. You can actually sew through silicone tube. It's light enough. It's a little bit of work, but it can be done. And then you end up with something like this. It's adhered onto the suit with the 3M, 969 tape, that fancy stuff I've used before. Works really well. And then I also sewed the edges on, just because if you remember on the old suit, the edges did start to come up after a while. But that's also because the old suit had some very rigid strips that, just moving around, you could feel it tugging. This is now much more comfortable. This, you don't even feel it. It doesn't get in your way, and I don't think I'm going to have any problems with that. So I got the suit put together. I got the disc mounted on the back, although it's not turned on. Got the helmet set up. The one thing that you can see right here is that the suit's kind of freaking out. The colors are it's not doing what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to kind of just right now be copying the helmet. This is just kind of a test. What you can see here, I've already got my scope hooked up. You can see that the scope is showing a pile of noise on the power line. And so what I found out is that I didn't actually have a big enough capacitor across my 5-volt line. So you can see right here, just got a little capacitor, and the instant I hold it on here, you can see the peaks of noise start to go away. Now they'll never go away completely, but they will diminish, and the suit looks perfect. So here, let me just pull the camera back so you can see the suit now. So now you can see it flickering, blue and green and other colors that it's not supposed to. And the instant I put the capacitor on, it all goes away. So that's one of the simple examples of how noise can just kind of really screw up the project. And I have a scope, so I can very easily, take a look, see where the problem is. If you don't have a scope, it can be a nightmare to trace that down, because you don't know if it's in your power, if it's in your, data lines, where it could be. Now, by looking at the noise here, you can kind of see, what kind of noise it is, what kind of oscillation, or what the period is, so you can kind of try to figure out where it's coming from. Now, this is going at about 800 kilohertz. I'm not sure if that would be my switching power supply. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. This is just a big brick here, made for use in, I think, cars. Rated for 75 watts, and then just hooked up to a 4-cell LiPo battery. And then I'm using Molex connectors for everything. And Molex connectors for the power, USB for the data, just so the data is all shielded, because I've run into that problem before, noise on the data lines.